Welcome to the HopCast.
Thanks for coming back, everybody.
I'm Brett Chmielewski.
My name is Ken Hunnemeder.
And today we got a couple funky beers.
Yeah, we all bringing the fun, bitches. So yeah, this is exciting for me. I know for Brad as well. I love to drink funky beers.
Right, and I'm really excited about this one we have from Anchorage Brewing Company. It's a white IPA.
White IPA that's finished with Brett in the bottle.
Yeah.
And then we have an old favorite.
So good.
Maybe not for you guys. This one's kind of hard to come by, but this is the new Glarus R&D Golden Ale, and it is only available if you visit their brewery in New Glarus, Wisconsin. They don't distribute this beer at all, and even the beers that they do distribute are,
you can only get them in
constrained
Wisconsin.
into Wisconsin. So if you're not from there, then you can't get anything.
But they do have that pretty regularly at the brewery, or?
I've never been there and not seen this beer.
Okay.
So this is a golden ale that's finished with Brett as well. Very much funk forward. Had it in the past, and it's quite nice. This is a really delicious beer. So we know this going off the bat, but we thought we'd do kind of a similar type of theme here with the funky beers.
And this should probably be like a wit beer that's hopped heavily.
Exactly. So this is the new trend, which I believe was started with that collaboration with Boulevard, where they did the white IPA. And they kind of took a white IPA, spiced it and hopped the crap out of it, and a new style was born, as has happened so many times over the past couple of years. So we can, at this point, we could start any which way. I don't even know, because I think this beer is super, super funky. I know that.
Yeah, let's
but
go.
we don't know how hoppy this is and how funky it is.
Let's go here first, because we kind of know what we're getting into there.
Okay, cool. So, and yeah, we didn't even mention, this is from Anchorage Brewing, and they've been getting a lot of play recently on beernews.org, which has recently changed to beerpulse.com. So, shut up! All right, so we'll crack open the Anchorage, and we'll check it out.
So that poured out pretty light. Yours looks a little clearer than mine. I think you got the first pour, right?
Yeah, so what you would expect here is it should pretty much look like a Belgian wit beer, and just hopped like an American IPA.
Yeah, nice fluffy head.
Yeah, it looks really nice, and it's so deceiving because when you put your nose down in this guy, it's like super catty hop, like that Simcoe hop. Not exactly sure what hops they used on this, and it's also spiced as well. And they use, it
says they use the Galaxy hop.
Galaxy hop, coriander, and kumquats with peppercorns.
Okay.
So there's a lot of things going on here.
Smells great.
It does. It smells very good.
All right. Really refreshing.
It is. It's light in body, but really, really nice hopping. It has like kind of like a candy like sweetness, but not cloyingly, but there's like a little sweet tart thing happening in the finish.
Yeah, so I don't love the finish. I wish the more like the kumquat fruit citrus wants to come out there at the end, and then the hops just kind of bitter dry it out.
Yeah, the kumquats, I think, with the yeast character, create kind of like a little tart, quenching citrus note to it, which is very inviting. I think it's pretty damn tasty. I mean, this is quite nice.
It makes you want to go back for more. It's like you're trying to figure out what you had, and it also finishes so dry. You're like, oh, I'm still thirsty.
I like the fact that it finishes dry. When there's a lot of things going on in a beer like this, the fact that it finishes dry is what really keeps you going back for more. and I appreciate that. A lot of times when there are beers that just don't finish dry enough, it just becomes too cloying and too sweet and just unappetizing. But this is really quite nice.
Now, are you picking off any of the Brett in there? I don't know.
Not a ton of Brett. What they say on the bottle is that you can enjoy this fresh, or you can age it for more of that funk. So I think they're introducing the Brett to the bottle itself, and they're not fermenting it with Brett beforehand. So it's up to they're kind of leaving it up to you how much Brett you want in this beer.
Okay.
I'm not sure how old this bottle is. I mean, I think there's a slight character of Brett, but really not that much. And it has a lot of flavors to fight through if it wants to, be known. Because I mean, we got a lot of hops in here. There's spices. There's kumquats. There's pepper. There's a lot to face when it comes to showing your true character.
Right, and then since it is a IPA, you kind of want those hops. So I'm not sure how long they really think people are going to age that for.
It's yeah. I mean, that would be an interesting one to even taste every 6 months, I would think.
Yeah.
Just to see how it is and find out where the balance point you think, or where you think that you like it, because I mean, obviously we're talking about beer. This is a subjective thing. So maybe you like yours fresh. Maybe you like yours a year out. Maybe you're a 3-month kind of guy, or I don't know. And it all depends on storage and all that stuff too. Because if you're going to store this beer, if you're going to store it cold, then the Brett is not going to be able to do anything.
Okay.
Because the Brett's just going to lay dormant. So if you really want the Brett character to come out, make sure that you're aging this at least cellar temperature.
Like that 55, 60.
Right. Right. Or if you really want more of it and you want more of it faster, go for just room, like leave it in your closet or something like that. So.
It's a nice beer. I think this is the first beer I've had from Anchorage Brewing.
Yeah.
Because they're pretty new. I think they're last year they recently started. They're in the basement or the downstairs of Sleeping Lady, and that's in downtown Anchorage. So he's renting space from there, and I think doing primarily barrel-aged, sour things.
Cellaring stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of taking advantage of the space and just using the Sleeping Lady's brewing equipment.
Yeah, we've seen these guys pop up on lists of best breweries in the world, so kind of cool to be able to give them a shot, and can't say that I disagree at this point. I mean, this beer is really, really good.
It's nice, yeah. So if you see them, pick them up. I'm sure they distribute down in like Portland, Oregon, Seattle area.
Tijuana,
maybe. Nice hot Tijuana day, that Brett.
When you're going for your donkey show, there's nothing you want more than a nice Brett aged IPA.
Yeah, I'm really good in that barnyard.
All right, well, we know we got something good here, and we only have something more good. So let's cheers to that.
Well, I had no problem finishing my white IPA there.
Not at all. Quite a delicious beer from Anchorage Brewing Company.
I still have some more left. I might double dip there.
Yeah, right. But without further ado, we're gonna hit up New Glarus for their R&D Golden Ale, highly coveted by many beer geeks. Yes, as an endearing term. So here we go.
So we got a little bit more orangey than the white IPA.
Yes, a touch darker on the SRM scale than the white IPA, even though this is a golden ale. More looking like kind of an American Pale Ale type of thing. You got some orange and maybe some amber hues to it.
And a fluffier head even from how hot the IPA was. This looks more billowy.
Yeah, you're going to get that with some of the wild yeasts. Even this IPA, especially with the addition of all the hops, which aid in the head retention, those funkier yeasts are gonna be able to stabilize the head a little bit more than your typical yeast. I mean, you look at that; it's nice and pillowy and fluffy. It looks good. Yes, I might after this. Taking a whiff, I mean, man, this is just an unbelievable smelling beer.
Yeah, getting that, the Band-Aid.
There's a slight bit of Band-Aid in the end, but like you're getting a lot of barnyard funkiness. I mean, this is the real deal.
Tingles the nostrils.
Cheers. So an example of a beer that is very, very yeast driven. This one is kind of tasting exactly how it smells. You know, you're getting a lot of yeast character, a lot of funkiness, a little bit of Band-Aid character to it.
But it's also refreshing at the same time because it is a golden ale. It's lighter, mouthfeel. It all kinds of washes away there at the end.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of a lemon character to it. I think that's what you're thinking of when you're talking about like some of the flavors that will wash another away. Is there's a bit of citrus going on in this beer too, and I know they don't add anything of that nature to it. This is just all a byproduct of the yeast.
Yeah. Nice. So the R&D, this is always there, but does it kind of change because it is an R&D beer, or is that just kind of what they kind of dubbed it, and that's what it always is?
As far as I know, it seems to be consistently the same. Other than the fact that when you age it, it will obviously change. But whenever I've gotten it straight from the brewery, it usually tastes pretty similar to the other times I've had it.
And how long? They've had it for at least a couple years now, right? That I know of, that I first heard about it.
I would say at least 5 years, something along those lines. They may have been one of the first to do this kind of larger run bottled series of Brettanomyces beers. In America, at least. I mean, we've had, going back, Orval and all that stuff for many, many years, but I think New Glarus was one of the first to do that.
Okay. So I wonder if they just have this, and maybe they're thinking about venturing into that, and they kind of been working on it for this long, and
Well, I'm sure it was no accident. It was no small process. I mean, there's a lot of things that go along with that, and I know Rayon Vert from Green Flash just came into the market as a year-round beer for them. If not this year, like the end of 2011, which is a Belgian-style pale ale that has a ton of Brettanomyces in it, which would be somewhat akin to this. So if you're looking for the types of flavors that we're getting here, and this is not available in your area, which it very well may not be, I would look to Rayon Vert for that, where this is like kind of the extreme funkiness.
Okay. So maybe New Glarus might be working on something. I wonder if we'll see something now that the palates and the sophistication has kind of changed in the craft beer scene, and there's more people in it, and they've kind of been wanting that funk. And
and up until now, it had just been kind of like a brewery-only release and that kind of thing. Whether or not they could sustain it, because they're limited to their market. So I don't know if the palates are like that in Wisconsin or not. We'd have to see.
I don't know, nice funky cheese.
I'm with you. If you know little about New Glarus, they sit in a tiny little Swiss town, so everything is very, very Swiss looking. And it's one of those towns where if you want meat, you go to the butcher. If you want dairy, you go to the creamery. If you want bread, you go to the bakery. Like that, everything is segmented out like it used to be. There's no mega mart or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's a very neat little town, and New Glarus is a really, really fun brewery to visit. It's gorgeous.
I haven't even made it to the new one.
Yeah,
I was at the old one, but
within the past couple of years, they've had a new expansion, and it's one of the most state-of-the-art breweries I've ever been to. It's breathtaking. It's really, really beautiful. So if you ever find yourself up in those neck of the woods in Wisconsin, do give New Glarus a look, because it's quite nice.
Wow.
And the beers are always fantastic.
Yeah, and this beer is no different.
Yeah,
So,
one of the more fantastic.
so cheers, couple good beers with Brett.
Bring in the funk.
Thanks for watching.
Cheers.